Right. All right. We're recording now. So for all the audience, we're talking a little bit early before we started this. We're waiting on John, the other guitar player. He's a late guy, which don't be wrong, we got a lot of late guys around here at Hell's Headbangers too. So definitely full of that. But yeah, I just knew it was gonna be you, Jeff, for sure. And I thought you mentioned, yeah, I have another guy or so. So it's all good. So like everybody while you're in there, like introduce yourselves and what you do in the band, and also like when you kind of started the band. Because I know it's just Jeff and John. You're the only two original members, right? I think so.
Oh, yeah. As of probably what, 6 months?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm Jeff, uh, guitar player. I joined the band in I think late '93, early '94 as lead guitarist, and I've been in it ever since.
now, were you on the? Because
So
I noticed on Metal Archives, are Jeff. All the demos, it just says no lineup available. Are you on the demos? Like especially the first one, the piling of oozing brain sauce.
I wasn't on Piles. I think that was recorded live, and that's during that time we had like a few different drummers.
Mhm.
There was nobody kind of in stone yet. But no, I wasn't on that very first one. I joined for Beyond Suffrage would have been my first, and that was '94.
So, is there anybody in the band currently that is on that first demo?
No,
So technically, you guys are in the camp of Napalm Death and also Asphyx, to where literally there's not a single original member.
right. And like when we did Devour the Village, we knew our singer bass player was going to leave. So we were kind of doing it just for recording who we were at that time. And then we could use that for our new bass player singer that we were going to get. That's why Devour the Village happened.
Hmm.
That was like one of the changes in people's ideas of what they want to do.
What about you, Mr. Immolation? Introduce yourself and what you do and when you started the band.
what's up? I'm Mark. I've been the drummer for probably 6 months, but I was the vocalist for 4 years before that. Um, Started, I don't know,
COVID.
right around COVID time. Yeah, maybe once they were doing the rollout or whatever. That's when I joined.
So you did the reverse. You did the reverse of a Sinister. You did vocals first, then switched to drum. As opposed to Sinister, the only original member of the band, Odd. He used to play drums, and now he does vocals. I've yet to interview him. I've been trying. I was hoping to at like Metal Threat and shit, but they canceled that whole tour. They couldn't get in the country. Um, why did you like? What was your reason then? Because I was gonna ask them the same thing. Why did you switch from doing just vocals to drums?
Well, our old drummer wasn't working out anymore, and it's easier to find a vocalist than a drummer.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, I've been a drummer for a long time. I was a drummer before I was a vocalist. I used to be in a metal band when I lived in New York, and that was a band called To the Deep. But then I took some time off, and then my kids were a little bit younger, so I didn't have the time to dedicate to practice. But you can practice vocals in your car or wherever you are.
yeah.
But now my kids are a little bit older, so we needed a drummer, so I stepped up.
Now, when you were doing vocals, I kind of always wonder this about vocalists, and I ask when I remember. Since you're like, I mean, I know there was at least two vocalists before you. Brent's the one I know. That's who I saw live. That's who I met. You guys when we were kids in the early 2000s when you play up here in Ohio. When you took over as a vocalist, there's obviously Exploding Zombies had previous material. Technically, actually, you guys haven't put anything out since, even with. But with your vocal style, were you kind of like just whatever the hell comes out from my natural growls, or were you trying to at least somewhat imitate what the band was already doing, so that way old fans like myself wouldn't be, lack of better words, shell shocked, like what the hell? This sounds nothing alike.
Sure. Well, so we do, the older song. We only have one older song that we do, and I try to follow what Brett was doing there, more or less. Um, but then the newer songs that are all the stuff we've been recording. I kind of do my own thing, but I do it in that style. I don't want to alienate fans, so lots of guttural stuff. But I did a little bit more high stuff here and there, and then John does backing vocals too. just to keep it a little bit diverse. But I would say probably I was a little bit, I was in the same low range, but maybe a little bit more easy to understand, a little bit more articulated, I guess.
Now you said you guys were recording stuff, so it's already recorded. So whatever comes out next, is it going to be an album, EP, and is it going to be your vocals on it, or are you going to like? Since you said you were already starting recording, but you're not doing vocals anymore, who's going to be the vocals on whatever recording comes out next, whether it's an EP, cassette, album, whatever it is?
That'll be Jake.
So
Jake's
basically,
our new
but if you guys have stuff already recorded, do you have anything recorded with him? Like,
we're scrapping it all
scrapping
because
it.
we're doing drums. Yep.
Okay.
We've done that through the years, believe me, a lot of times, or we would have put an album out in the last 25 years. We've had things just about finished, then life gets in the way, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And you hate to put something, have someone join the band, and then they're not on the album you're going to promote.
Yeah.
And that was always kind of the thing, you know.
Yeah. What about the guy sitting next to you? Then introduce yourself and what you do. And
My name's Jeff. I'm the bass player. I replaced Brent back in 2018, 2019, somewhere around there. So I was playing in another band at the time, and they needed somebody to step up and replace. So I did double duty for about a year and a half, and until that band finished up and wrapped up, and then I've been playing in this one ever since.
now, prior to that, so did you personally, since you're taking over Brent's spot, who he left obviously for people that don't know, is because he passed away. What did you know him personally, and did you know the band? Were you already previously a fan, like friends with them, or like how did that whole connection?
Well, this kind of turned like full circle for me because I originally saw the Zombies when I was still a teenager in high school, and obviously they were building up on the local scene here in Flint.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was the original members. I've actually still got the original cassette of Piles of Oozing Brain Sauce.
Mm-hmm.
And then just keeping in touch with the local scene over the years, you know, circling back around and hitting these guys back up every now and then. And then when I really started getting back into the local metal scene back around like 2010, started playing in the other band, like I said, and there was right closer to the same type of music. So we started doing shows together. So I did know Brent a little bit. I didn't know him, like we weren't like close personal friends or anything, but we had exchanged shows and just kind of kept in touch. So they thought I would be a good fit for a replacement when they needed it. So that's kind of what brought us here.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. Now, do any of you guys know, since like in the Piles demo, there's none of you guys that are on it, the original now, so they are whoever that whole original lineup is, are those guys still in the death metal scene, and do you guys know them personally, any of you? And like, if so, like,
Yeah,
what do
all
they what's that?
when you're in a band, for this band's been going, at least for me, for 30 years.
Yeah.
No one ever left on bad terms. You know what I mean? Hey, we got John. He just showed up.
Hey, here's Mr. On Time.
Oh yeah.
Well, you actually just they everyone just finished introducing themselves. So yeah, John, introduce yourself. I mean, I just know, like I was telling Jeff earlier, you and Jeff as well, the most original guys, because I didn't realize nobody plays on the first demo at all. Like no original guys, like a Napalm Death Asphyx type of scenario. Like I was telling them. When did you start the band? Your guitar as well. When did you start the band? And introduce yourself and tell your brief.
Sure. My name's John Drew. Actually went to school with Jeff's wife way back in the day. Started in the band in '99. Learned everything off the Devour cassette in like 2 weeks, and then opened up for Morbid Angel at Harpo's. Ups and downs, craziness with Brent and everything, and then played till about 2003-ish, something like that. Then I left the band, and I came back in 2012, and we've just been trying to crawl back out of the grave ever since, really.
Mm-hmm. Now, so you, John, and Jeff, technically we have actually met in the very early 2000s. I mean, it's my memory on it's hazy too. I mean, because if it would have been would have been probably 2000, 2001. I remember seeing you at the Ohio Death Fest, but I remember you guys playing a few just local shows here in Cleveland. Again, we're talking, I don't think it was 99, but 2000, 2001, 2002 in that era. So I would have been between 15 and 17 years old. So, and we have met. It's funny because my two brothers, Eric and Chase, it was the three of us going to shows. So the three owners of Hell's Headbangers who are doing the Exploding Zombies, it's on pre-order, it's out next month, the CD, and first time out on vinyl. It's just funny, like we have met, but you guys probably don't even remember, and I don't. I don't blame you for that whatsoever. But meeting a bunch of kids. But my question is, seeing you guys live, especially with Brent's stage image and shit like that, and you guys coming to Cleveland, what is your memories of playing the Cleveland shows? And kind of like, you came here a few times, with the exception of Ohio Death Fest, and we'll get into that. I'll tell you my memories on that, and you can, confirm or deny if my memory's off, because it's possible it is, because some of this shit, as you guys know, it blurs together. What is your memories of playing, like, while you would come up here at Cleveland? Because I remember seeing you guys, and it was one of the I don't think it was the Foundry. Maybe you did play the Foundry. I think I might have seen you at the Foundry, Fantasy, that type of stuff. All that Detroit Avenue and Lakewood, Cleveland, Ohio. There's a bunch of clubs on there. Nowadays, there's now No Class. But you guys were coming here for those shows, and I think a couple of them you even headlined. I don't remember if you opened up for Regurgitation or headline for them, but they were smaller underground shows. You guys doing that, I don't think you were on a tour or anything like that. Like, what is your memory of coming up here? Because it was more than once, because I've seen you guys more than once that time. And like what's your whole experience? Did you good memories of that, or it just blurs together, or the Cleveland scene sucked, or like what's your whole recollection? Because that's my memories of you guys.
I remember the whole era was kick-ass. That it didn't matter if you were in Michigan, Cleveland, Knoxville, Tennessee, wherever you were. People were coming out to shows, and most of the bands that were the locals at that time or coming from on their own little tours became huge,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I always like going to Cleveland. I actually just went there to vacation this past summer.
Vacation? What the hell did you do there?
Just me and my wife, we went on our anniversary and we just hung out in Lakewood. So it's kind of funny. I know right where No Class is. We checked it out while we were there.
Should have hit up the dog, man. I'm right down the fucking street. That's 30 minutes from my warehouse house.
Oh, shit, man. I was there for like 4 days, too. I loved it. I thought that area was kick-ass.
Yeah.
Out by the lake and the nice parks and everything. It was really sweet.
Okay. But you were there now during those times, too, when you guys playing those Cleveland. You weren't with your wife then, were you?
Yeah. And she was there with me.
Oh, shit. So you guys have been together for a long ass time.
25 years or 27 years, 26, 27 years. Yeah.
Did she come to the Ohio Death Fest the year you guys played?
Yeah, she came for that too.
Now, what year did you guys play? Was it 01, 02? It had to have been one of those. Do you remember?
98.
It was 01.
Was it 01?
Yeah. At one time I had the t-shirt.
Oh, wait a minute. It's on the back of this.
Yeah.
What's that say?
Yeah.
01.
I mean, I don't know.
Is your fucking here or the way dumb?
Yeah, it's 01.
Yeah.
Yep.
I traded a shirt to Borg, so we both traded off.
Yeah, so you remember the guys in Morgue, right? From France?
Yeah, they were nice guys. Yeah, we all hung out. Remember, I remember you guys as young kids.
Yeah, I couldn't remember, because a lot of guys would remember us, because the only reason they remember us is because everybody kind of, it was cool because it was three brothers coming out to all the death metal shows, and we would take photos of the shows, and have people sign our stuff, and always bought the merch. Like, for example, on the repress CD and the vinyl, the photos that are included in there, we took those at the actual shows of those early 2000 ones. We took those photos.
Nice.
Yeah, we had a blast at that one. All our friends came and did the zombie stuff, and yeah,
That's what I was going to ask, because that's the only time I saw you guys do that. At the Ohio Death Fest, I remember you guys, shit, maybe one of them was your wife. You had people dressing up as zombies walking around on stage while you guys played. And did you do that at any other shows? Because that was the only time I seen you guys do that.
Well, we got in trouble, and because we had a blood sprayer at one point, and I think we were opening for Overkill in Flint,
Mm-hmm.
and the crowd
I was at that show.
hit the blood sprayer, knocked it over, and it sprayed Overkill's drum set. We got in a lot of trouble. so we started taming it down, and we used to throw like raw meat in the crowd with rice and just crazy stuff. We started to tame it down a bit because bar owners didn't want us playing their places, you know.
And the story I had heard was that they were throwing wet rice out into the crowd and people were slipping on it and getting hurt. So.
Yeah.
I could see it. Yeah. That definitely makes sense. I could see that because technically, and that's before my time. That's the I don't know if you guys see those shows because obviously you're probably there. Is DSI did that in the very early days too. I think maybe even prior to the first album, they throw out like meat and blood. Maybe during Amon and shit like that. But that's the stories. Have you ever heard that DSI used to do that?
I can't remember that, but it seemed like everybody was kind of trying to be a little shock, you know, bring something to the music. I could see him doing it.
So what you're saying that the shock part? What's your take on the death metal scene today then? Because it just seems like I don't know. It just seems very. I mean, there's bands coming out that I like, but it's few and far in between. And even a lot of stuff where like, yeah, it's pretty good. It just seems very soulless nowadays. Almost just like just another band that you're passing through, listening to on YouTube. Just on to the next band. Like that's the vibe I get. You're even older than me and been the same. So do you get that vibe or?
Yeah, like I don't hear a broken hope of the olden days, you know, that kind of thing. Don't have something that shocks me where I'm like, yeah, there it is. I don't get that too often anymore. There's a few bands, you know, that I like, but I just assume that I don't get the feeling anymore because I've been around it for so long, you know?
Yeah. What about any of the rest of you guys? Same, like, what's your take on the current death metals? Because I'm assuming, Jeff, are you the oldest, I'm assuming?
I am, yes.
Yeah. Who's the youngest?
Only 48.
So
He's the youngest.
he's the
Oh, no,
he's
no.
the youngest
I
in this
think Jake-
room, but our
Jake,
new singer Jake is probably a decade younger than us.
42 or something maybe.
Yeah, I think Jake's 42. I'm 48. So
I'm 49.
oh, you got me. I'll be
Okay,
49.
well, you guys are all still older than me then. So, what's it? So, what's up? What's
You
that?
got that.
Yeah, I mean, I know what you mean, and I feel like having been into death metal for so long, it's easy to, you know, kind of maybe get used to the sound and then, you know, maybe not pay attention to some of the newer stuff or they just, like you said, seems like there's not as much life into it, but I'm hearing some cool bands. I just checked out this band Entangled. They're cool. I'm sorry. I think it's Engulfed.
Oh, God, I've heard of that. Yeah, I think we even had them in stock before. I've seen the name.
Yeah,
for sure.
they're super brutal. I think Final Resting Place is a new band that's keeping the old sound, but seems like they have a good spirit for it. I think in a sense, I think it's cool that you've got younger kids that maybe they're not rewriting the book on this shit, but they seems like there are some bands that are breathing life into the old sound. And I think that's pretty cool. It's death metal's an old enough thing now. It's like it's got a legacy to it, you know?
Yeah, 1,000%. Any other guys have any opinion? Do you have an opinion or not?
Me personally, I'll listen to death metal, but I don't listen to it all the time. I'm like more of a doomy kind of guy, and I just love playing this stuff. And so when I hear something good, I'm like, fuck yeah. And then, like you said, a lot of it just kind of blurs together in and out where it's not really remarkable to me. To me, it's all about speed and groove and being nasty. And I don't really get caught up in like any waves of bands or anything like that. I kind of keep to myself.
Okay.
Just get an alarm clock, you know?
Yeah. That's all I need. My alarm clock and my guitar.
What is I always wondered too then again, because with the time I was seeing you is when Brent was singing. He was obviously had a really cool image on stage with the apron and the bloody arms and the mask. He was the only one that did that though. Kind of like he almost think he was like the King Diamond of the band. The only guy dressed up, as opposed to you guys kind of just went up there in a metal shirt and blue jeans. What was the reason? Like, were you kind of like to him like, that's overkill, bro? It's kind of stupid, or Was it kind of like, yeah, that's what King Diamond did. We only need one guy. Or was it kind of like, yeah, if you want to do it, it looks cool, but I think I'm embarrassed to do that. It looks stupid. I'm not dressing up. I'm not 12 years old. Like, why? The question is why why didn't everybody in the band do it? Like, he was the only one. I thought he looked badass as fuck.
He did it, and if he wanted to do it, we were good, right? We were good with it. We kind of didn't care, right? We just were ourselves. But he enjoyed doing it. You know, that was his image. He kind of would put the mask on and be a different person, you know?
But you don't think, like, for example, now how you guys are kind of like, since you haven't put anything out since, and to the newer audience, going to be kind of a more of an overlooked band in a sense, since you aren't like putting out new material, at least not yet. You don't think like kind of recapturing that live that might help catch attention, because it's so easy to overlook bands if you're a new kid getting into this, because there's so much to choose from. You don't even know where to start. It's like the way I look at it, if you're trying to get your name out there, every 1% advantage you kind of need nowadays. Otherwise, everything just blurs together. Not to anybody's fault, because it does because there's so many bands now. You just don't even know where the fuck to start.
Yeah, there's so many players. I personally back then was kind of 50-50 on the fence about getting all gooey and gutty. And then after a while, it just kind of turned it to Brent, like the King Diamond thing, I guess, basically, you know, subconsciously we just knew at the end of the night, we're going to be covered in blood anyway, because Brent's going to come and get us at some point after we play and try to kill us all. You know what I mean? So,
well, personally,
no
if you want my opinion, which you didn't ask for, but I'll give it unsolicited, what I would do going forward, since that was kind of your formula, whoever the singer is, so new guy, it sounds like, I think he should dress up, because that's kind of like what the band was known for live, at least to people like me. Now, somebody who's never heard the band, they see him for the first time, let's say in a couple months or whatever, may not mean anything, because they don't have any background knowledge of the band or history. But me going in, if I go see the Zombies, I'm like, man, where's that fucking front man? Where the fuck's he at? Like, that's kind of like if King Diamond goes up there and he's just wearing his Dallas Cowboy hat, no makeup, no inverted crosses, no cross microphone. I'd be like, what the fuck's this guy doing?
For sure.
Yeah, actually, we just played a Halloween show that was day after Halloween, and that was one of the thoughts, was to make Mark and Jake cover themselves in blood as part of.
I think so. I honestly, I really do. Because when I think exploding
And
zombies,
thought
that's what I
about it.
think.
We've talked about it. I think it's a good element. It's not hard to do. You know,
When I started doing vocals, I wanted to do it. Jeff told me I couldn't. So
I told them to wear a
man.
kilt, and they couldn't.
and he's
Punk
only
it
gonna wear
out.
it. Tell me what you think.
Just because my wife bought it for him, and I thought it'd be funny. I'd laugh at him later.
Who did you start at the Ohio Death Fest when the zombies were walking around? Me as so you said 2001. So 2001, I was 16. I was just, were those just friends? Was it like Jeff was one of them or your wife? I was always like, who do they get just rant? Because back then it's like, it's not like you're getting paid big money to play that show or anything. So you guys yourself, your travel, your food, your hotels, etc. It's already hard enough with 4 guys or whatever, basically getting paid nothing or very, very little. Now to have a few extra roadies, you know,
Yeah.
who did you kind of convince, or was it just fans there that like, hey man, we got some costumes, want to throw it on? Like, who did? So I always just kind of wondered that, like, because again, I saw you a couple times prior to that, and you never did that. So I was like, yeah, I was like, who was it? Because we actually have photos too of the zombies walking around that I took, my brothers took, and I never know who you guys had, who you convinced to fucking do that.
They were all our friends. And actually, Jake, our new singer, was one of the guys that went down to that Ohio Death Fest, being like probably a little older than you, maybe 16, 17 or something. Yeah, they were all our friends, my wife, our girlfriends, people that were in the band, or, you know, best friends, that kind of thing. They all just said, yeah, we're going to Ohio Death Fest. And they all enjoyed it. They had a great time.
Speaking of that, I don't want to say anything. So, Jeff, you emailed me yesterday. Are you able to, is that something you want to share with coming up? What you told me in email yesterday, you don't want to say it yet? Grant, this video will probably go up in a week.
Yeah, I think we should wait. It'll be
that's
coming, but yeah, I think we're going to become. Yeah, why not? What's the matter? I sent our logo in for Ohio Death Fest. I don't know where our spot is in in the festival or not, but I'm excited because that was actually one of the best Death Fest I've ever played.
Yeah, because you asked me then about playing my fest, and when I was explaining to you, I was like, to be honest with you, here's the thing is you guys initially crossed my mind when I was first setting mine up, but I wasn't sure where. To be honest, I was kind of confused in your guys' status because it said active, and I knew you did shows here and there, but I was like, did they even put a demo or anything else since? I was like, oh, okay, so several heads. I was like, which is what I know best, and I was like, that's the last thing. I was like, they're probably not doing much. I'm not gonna bug them, whatever. But because I wasn't sure what you're all doing, but you guys did cross my mind, especially because number one, I'm a big fan, and number two, with Hell's Headbangers doing the vinyl and CD, I was like, it makes logical sense. So when you told me about that doing Ohio Death Fest, I was like, that's perfect because. And then you asked, could we play the next day? I was like, well, so you understand, like the Ohio Death, and everybody watching, it's going to be Friday, July 31st at the Mercury Music Lounge in Lakewood, Ohio. Mine's the very next day, Saturday, Mercury Music Lounge. So it's almost kind of like the same show. The only reason it's being advertised like that is because I did my first one just this past June, and Rochefort played, and Brian is in Rochefort now, and Brian obviously is the one that did Ohio Death Fest, Ablator Records, and Regurgitation. He just enjoyed the fest so much, and he's like, bro, like, would you want to go in on it on the next one? I'm like, well, I do a partnership business with my brothers for Hell's Headbangers, and one thing, and it works because we're brothers. But one thing I have learned is, would I ever do another partnership business with someone else? The answer is no, and that's because it's anything bad. It's that old saying, don't mix, friendship and business. Because the
Right.
money, etc. I was like, I really don't want to like combine it like money wise and tickets. I want to keep everything separate, just for the sake of that, because I've been friends with Brian for like 25 years. I was like, but if we just do back-to-back days, you sell separate tickets. I was like, I'll advertise it, kind of, but it'll be basically a 2-in-1. You know what I mean? If you, it's basically the same show, but just tickets are sold separately. So I was like, you basically playing 2 days in a row at the same thing, and the fans, 80% of whoever goes to what day are going to be at the other. They might be like, why is the same band playing twice? Like, doesn't even make sense. Like, they might be a little confused for that reason. But again, like whoever's at my show, I guarantee you 80% of them are going to be at the Friday show. Because and I know this because this prior one I just did in June, which was in Youngstown, Ohio. I purposely had it in Youngstown just because that club is awesome. Majority of the people, like I said on my channel, dude, most of them weren't even from Ohio. It was all from out of state, people from California, Texas, etc. Because it's all the followers from my channel, right? So
Right.
having said that, I was like, most of them are coming in for the weekend because then that Friday during the day, we have like a Hell's Headbangers open warehouse to where people come in and shop, they hang out, we set up tents, people were grilling hot dogs, drinking beers, hanging out with the bands. So it was like a 2-day event purposely because people are all coming from out of town. So what I'm getting at is they're all going to be at the same shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was just trying to get 2-for-1, seeing how we're driving there.
Yeah. The thing is, there's still some time. It's just literally, I finished my, Mark Riddick drew up my flyer, and
Sweet.
it's done. There was just like one typo in there that he fixed. And I was going to, print up 11 by 17s of them, like nice little, like mini little poster ones, not some chuck in the trash shit. And I was gonna print us up 2,000 of those because I printed up 2,000 for the previous one, but I not some bullshit ass looking flyer, and it just irritates me if there's a flyer and there's like something missing on there of a band. Like my previous one though, it's got an error on it too because initially Regurgitation was supposed to play, and then the singer guitar player Ben, we call him Back Out Ben on this channel, he pulled out he agreed over a year in advance. He pulled out of the show a month before the show because he's like, I got a new job. So I was like, all right, well, this fucking sucks. And that's why Rochefort took that place.
Okay.
So on the flyer, it says Regurgitation, but Regurgitation never played it. So
Yeah, I'm sure that kind of thing happens a lot with
it does.
promoters.
It does. But
But
my first one, I'm just like, fuck. I just kind of, I don't know. It's just kind of a, just a perfectionist thing. Kind of wanted it to not be that way. But yeah, I understand. To hell, this next one, maybe the same shit will happen.
yeah, hopefully not. Right.
Yeah. But because I won't say it because Brian shared a little bit, even a month ago, the lineup he pretty much had. It's funny. That's when you told me Exploding Zombies. I was like, that's fucking awesome. and he must have just brainstormed that or was replacing somebody because he sent me a list. He's like, this isn't definite yet. He's like, 3 of them were kind of pending. But my question is to you, did you see any of the list of bands he has brewing playing? Because it was a pretty damn good list.
No, we were supposed to play a couple shows for him. He's reached out a couple times, and due to other commitments, we couldn't do it. And I think I sent a message out, hey, are you doing Ohio Death Fest? Like right when I first heard about it.
Yeah.
And I looked in on my message and he didn't reply. So I just wrote him. I think it must have been Thursday. I wrote him and say, hey, are you still considering us for Ohio Death Fest? And I sent him a couple videos from our show a couple of weeks ago. And he got back with me and asked me to send the logo. So that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds about right. Like sometimes even me, like I'll text him and he reply back like 2 days later. Like, what the fuck, man? I want to take 2 days to reply to a text, but whatever. But so that's just, yeah, that is the way he is.
Yeah, so I started thinking about it. I'm like, man, I know that's going to come out pretty soon. He hasn't gotten back with me. I'll reach out, and he was there, so we communicated. Like I said, I sent him our logo and some links to some live stuff. And I told him when I get done mastering some of them, I'll send them the YouTube links. They'll be a lot better.
Okay. Yeah. No, yeah, I think it's definitely a very, very cool addition. And I think people will be glad to hear that. Because again, I don't know, have you guys heard, any of you, have you heard anything like people bringing up the band because they heard about them from my channel?
A bunch of our friends watch your channel, and actually our singer being one of them. Yeah, like when we first started talking a little bit, and they're like, hey man, I heard, yeah, they would bring stuff up.
Because I was wondering, because like I said, the CD and the LPs on pre-order, and I'm like, I'm very impressed upon how it's doing. Like, for example, the first 100 are on picture disc, right? With the outer cover. They're already all accounted for, sold. After your guys' copy, obviously you get your percentage. Like, it's got, like, we had to remove from the site because they're all accounted for. Like, I wasn't expecting that in pre-orders.
It's kick ass.
Oh yeah. I did do shares on a couple metal collector groups, just because I think it's cool, right? And to me, this is a great honor for Brent. You know, it makes me think about him. So yeah, hopefully a bunch of our friends and people that know us from the past, want that album.
Yeah, I think so. Because again, then I think I know because there's colored vinyl, black vinyl. I think the pressing info is 100 black vinyl, 100 picture discs, and then 300 or 400 colors. And I know the picture discs all accounted for. And then in pre-orders, there's like 100 CDs sold, and like between the black and the color, another 120 LPs. So between all 3 versions of LPs, there's already like 200 that are sold through us. That's not even counting what goes to you guys. So I mean, that's in pre-order for a band. Put it this way, that's considered really good. Like even like when we put out a new band, like let's say a brand new band comes out, and we do their first album or something like that. Let's say it's Spider, the background, Spider LP. If we do pre-orders for a band like that caliber, newer band, first, second release, a pre-order for that is generally like 30. That's like the norm, 30 copies. Just to kind of put it in perspective. So I was impressed, and I think that's really cool. And a lot of people have told me, like, yeah, I never heard of these guys. And I posted the Vomiting Blood. Did you see that, Jeff? I think you commented.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people that even hit me up, like, man, this shit's fucking great. You were right. I was like, I just tell you what I like. I was like, whether you guys agree or not, I just give my personal tastes. I was like, that's why when I wanted Hell's Headbangers to put it out, I was like, and I didn't put it out because we all thought this is going to be like, whoa, this is going to sell really well. This is a big moneymaker. I was like, no, we put out records, we put out CDs, and I'd much rather put out shit that I was a fan of since I was a kid. I was like, those are more meaningful to me. I was like, obviously, we can't do that every release, but those are the ones I like the most. So, of course, that's what I'm going to talk about. I was like, take it or leave it, whatever you guys do with that info.
Oh, definitely appreciate it, man, because it's hard. In Michigan, we've been playing shows for all these years. We never stopped playing shows because we didn't have an album. And we basically sold ourselves by our performances. I think a couple years ago we opened for Exodus. A few months before that, Death Angel. really in our genre, but we've also done Suffocation and Fetus.
When you're opening up, so when you guys are opening up, because those are all bigger bands for sure. What's the crowd reaction? And like afterwards, like let's say if you're selling merch and shit, what is the general reaction consensus of the people there?
We do really well.
Yeah.
Okay.
We sell a lot of merch, get a lot of nice compliments from the
Hmm.
people, and find new people to come to the next show. They seem to really dig it, and
And it's diverse too. It's like
yeah,
kids, and then sometimes like kids with their parents, or like the Santa Claus dude. That guy's got to be 70. Right? It's like, holy shit! Awesome.
Machine shop Santa.
Well, maybe
Yeah.
you guys could help. I like to give out as much free game as I can to the viewers. Maybe you guys can help out because you're doing exactly what my biggest recommendation. And I've never been in a band. I'm only a spectator of it, but I mean, do the label side. So I mean, I know a thing or two, but I'm not an expert in that because I haven't been in a band, that part. But what I do know, I was like, if I was my one piece of recommended advice to a brand new band is exactly what you guys are doing, even though you're not a new band. And maybe you could, but I don't know how to make it happen because I have told it to some guys like, well, I have tried that. It's hard. You're like, they don't let you on. What I said I would do, I was like, anything within a 6-hour drive from where you are, all the bigger shows, like you just named, the Suffocations, the Dark Angels, the Dying Fetuses, the Cannibal Corpses, the Immolations, the Incantations. I was like, any of those shows within 6 hours of you, try to contact the venue, whoever's promoting, and ask if you can open up for that show and offer to play for fucking free. Because you're going to gain new fans every night you're playing in front of those bigger crowds. 100% guaranteed. I was like, that's what I would do if I was in a newer band. And no one disagreed, but the only kickback I got on some is like, yeah, I tried. Like they say it's booked or you can or no thanks or no reply. I was like, I know the no reply treatment. That makes sense. So I'm asking you guys, it seems like you're pretty successful. You just mentioned a bunch. How do you get on those bigger shows and open up for those?
Some of them I reach out, just like Ohio. And some of them call us, like, hey, do you want to open for Gore? And we're like, yeah, sure, why not? It's in Lansing.
Yeah.
Sometimes we get lucky based on our, being a death metal band for all these years.
Yes, you guys actually have a history, so you at least have you have an advantage over a brand new band. You guys actually have a history.
Yeah, by far with that. That's
Yeah.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
We got people that haven't seen us for 20 years and see us just recently and are flipping out, So it's, because through generations, people kind of like go away from what they love. Like they might grow out of death metal. They might.
1,000%. I talk about all on my channel. I think it's the lamest shit ever. To me, when someone says they grow out of death metal, dude, that's the equivalent of saying I grew out of fucking pussy. What do you mean? You don't like pussy no more? That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
It means they never really were into it or something.
What I say, exactly what I say. Exactly. I was like, dude, you don't grow out of pussy and you don't get out of pizza. You like those to the day you die. So if you truly like death metal and metal, if you truly were into it, you will be into the day you die. If you're not, that means your heart was never truly into it. That's what I always thought.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, to us, it's the music side that at least for myself, that has driven me, the perfectionism and the playing in music itself, the challenge. It's something you'll never reach. It's kind of out of your reach. So you can play your whole entire life and work hard at it. And there is satisfaction in that. The rest kind of just goes with us,
Mhm. Which, by the way, Jeff, I didn't even notice till now, because this shit's fuzzy as fuck. Not fuzzy, but it's like you guys are in a gloomy atmosphere. Granted, it looks really good for aesthetic reasons. Is that a morgue shirt you're wearing?
Yeah. Yeah, I got grabbed out of the closet from that show. I traded them a zombie.
Yeah. You realize just like the Exploding Zombies, you realized Hell's Headbangers did that Art Gore album. We repressed it on CD and we pressed it on vinyl for the first time. We actually have some copies left too, which blows my fucking mind because I came out. We did that like 2 years ago or so now. We don't have a lot left, but I was like, again, it's the same reason for the Exploding. I was like, we grew up as a kid. Shit was great. But a lot of these newer bucks, these young chaps, they don't even know what that is.
Yeah. No, them were great guys. That's what I mean. The experience from the Ohio Death Fest, and maybe it's because we were all young and crazy party people. It was just fun. A ton of laughter. you know, and just seeing great bands. I'm hoping that, you know, the Ohio Death Fest will come back strong to
I
where
think
it
it
can
will,
be
dude.
two.
And I think that's what Brian saw with my fest, even though it was a 1 day. It was a 1 day fest, my actual show, but it was 2 days because long story short, not to bore you, there was a pre-show that basically a fan of mine from California, him and his family and friends came out from San Francisco just for my show, but he's like he just wanted he put on a pre-show free. He paid for it. He brought in Nunslaughter, Vincent Crowley, Deceased, and Mulder, 4 bands. He paid them all. He paid the club and put it on for free. And he came in from California. So he did that the Friday before. He's like, I just want to have a good time while we're out there. And then during the day, the Friday was the Hell's Headbangers Open Warehouse. So it was a whole weekend event. And the whole thing that I set up with the day of my show, it was kind of like a big hangout. I was like, I don't want any bands hanging out backstage. Hey, I'm waiting to go on stage, hiding on the bus, this rock star fucking gay ass bullshit, which I can't stand. I wanted everybody like at their merch booths, hanging out with the fans, mingling, because that's what Ohio Death Fest was. And since Brian played with Rochefort, I think he saw that. He's like, yeah, this is the way it's supposed to be. Because he was complimenting the fight. He's like, dude, this fucking thing was great, bro. Such a good time. And so I think that inspired him to do Ohio Death Fest. But he has the same mindset I do. It should be like what your memory is it isn't just a show like, hey, go see some bands and get the fuck out of here. No, it was supposed to be a cool, fun, hangout time weekend.
Yeah, one of the things I remember from Ohio was this guy that told us he's on vacation from Sweden. And I remember making fun of him. I go, you went to Lorain, Ohio for your vacation in the United States and Sweden from Sweden. And
Yeah.
I go, how'd you even find out about the show? He goes, I seen a flyer. I'm like, really? And so probably about a year ago, that same guy got back with us and we sent him a hoodie and a shirt to Sweden.
That's awesome. I would do the same because that's a diehard right there.
Yeah. I mean, he reached out to us a few times over the years and bugging us about a new CD, and you know, we didn't have it finished, so what am I going to send him? And then he finally reached out, and yeah, we shipped it to Sweden for him. It was good. It was a hoodie and or a couple shirts or something.
Well, you, Jeff, you sent me a care pack. Maybe when I don't remember, did we set up the Exploding Zombies release or did I just shout out the channel? You sent me a newer, I think it was you.
I sent you
a shirt and I think just a shirt.
Beyond Suffrage. I sent you Beyond Suffrage. I sent you
Send them one of the cassettes too that was re-released from.
I think so. Did I send you the cassette that was done in Russia?
No, I don't think so. I don't recall that. No.
Yeah, a guy released a cassette of ours in Siberia, out of all places.
No, I would remember that. No, I didn't see that. No. Now, like, but when you sent that, was it just because you just saw me talking about you on the channel where we already set up I can't remember because it was a little while ago now.
Remember, but wasn't there some guy that reached out to me that was friends of yours asking about some stuff and doing a release? I think there was.
Well, it's funny as it might be the same guy we're talking about, but I think he's not a friend of mine. He's a friend of yours. I forget his name. I should give him a shout out. He sent me a pack recently, like 3 months ago or so, of both the Exploding Zombie demos. Well, who's that?
That is a friend of ours. He's in Inhumanize, and one of the original guitarists from Zombies, Kevin, and our old drummer, Brian, and a guy that was a guitarist for a few years in the Zombies, Greg. They're all in that band.
Okay. Yeah.
We're friends. I went and seen them play. You know, we're friends with them. They come see us play. Basically, our singer and his singer, they're like best friends. Yeah.
So, did you hear my idea of a release then? Because I was all for it. I was like, but we have to wait to see how the several heads moves. I was like, because you know, I do this for pleasure, but at the same time, I was like, it's got to be somewhat business related too. I can't completely lose my ass. I was like, if several heads moves good, which in pre-orders it's already saying that it is, so I'm already willing to just say that we'd be up for it if you guys. I said it for the release, and now that I have both demos, because I was like, I only have the what's the first time? The first time. What if I draw a blank? The
Oh.
Devouring the Village. I was
Right.
like,
Well, Beyond Suffrage is the first one.
okay, but what all I have is the Devouring the Village. Actually, I want to actually talk to you about the Devouring the Village. What I have too, because I'm not even sure if it all exists. But my idea was another release, Devouring the Village, and then the demos combined as one release. For the vinyl, it'd probably have to be a double LP, and then a CD as well. Basically everything that's all the material that's several severed heads. Put that all on one release, a CD release and a double LP. I think that's the next release. What is that? Is that well, two questions. Number one, are you guys up for that? Number two, are you guys have say on that? Because the first demo, technically, none of you are on.
Right. Yeah. I already reached out to Kevin before about the first demo. He was good with it. Kevin don't care.
I figured, yeah.
Yeah. It's just Beyond Suffrage, definitely. To me, that was a really good beginning for us. You know, Devour was not meant to be really an album, like I said. It was just kind of let's capture this part in time before the band changes. Because
is that why? Not to cut you off, because I literally always wonder this for years. I got Devour the Village after probably about 5 years or so after Several Severed. So probably let's figure 2005. Probably about 2005, 2006 when I finally got Devour the Village. But my CD, it's really poor quality. It's like a CDR, but a pro CDR with a label on it, and the covers and shit are like look like someone printed off their goddamn home printer. Is that? Did I just get a bootleg of a bootleg of a bootleg version, or is that what exists?
That's what exists. We didn't plan on making that something we were going to sell. It, like I said, it was meant to be a training video for the next guy. Here's the vocals. Here's how, you know, and it ended up being John's training stuff, you know?
Yeah.
That's why we redid it on Several Severed Heads, a lot of the songs.
Yeah. Yep.
On Devour the Village, you got Nick from Dysphoria, the singer for Dysphoria. We did some songs with him. It was just going to be a collaboration, and I think there was only a couple hundred made ever.
So that's why, and even though it's like cheap quality, that's even cooler, I think, if we end up doing it, because it's coming out for the first time on like a proper release. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
So,
and it kind of works for us because we're going to be working on releasing our newest album.
Yeah.
So putting all our history out there is nothing but good for us. You know?
Oh, 1,000%. Oh, dude, there's no doubt, because if you do a new album, you do Ohio Death Fest, us repressing several, each little bit, you're getting new fans. And new fans, when they're a fan, short for fanatic, everybody likes to call me out on that on the channel. A fanatic, at least how I go, like, you don't just buy Butchered at Birth and be like, yeah, I'm good. A fanatic looks at a resource like Metal Archives or Googles it, not that hard in 2025. You say, what else does this band have? I want to hear it. So if you get if you get more new fans from the new record, if they're actually a true fan, they're gonna be like, well, what the fuck? What's all this previous shit that came out 30 goddamn years ago? I want to hear it. At least that's how my mind works. I'd like to think that these kids of today somewhat think that and have some type of goddamn passion.
Well, they definitely have the computer to be able to look for stuff.
Correct.
You know, they don't have to go get a buddy and have them record it on a cassette for you or a CD, you know.
Dude, that's what slightly that, and again, that's where a lot of my channel talk. It's shit. Most of my channels is me talking shit and calling people out and whatever. People like it; they find it fun. But that's part of it is. That's what almost slightly annoys me with not all there. I've met some diehard young bucks, but a lot of them where it annoys me is they're so half-assedly into this, and I'm like, dude, you have it so fucking easy nowadays. I was like, back in the day, if you wanted to hear something, you either had to buy it, or you had to have a buddy that had it that either burned it for you or W a cassette, something. You had to hear something physical. Now these shitheads, they hear literally Possessed Seven Churches the same day they hear Swamped and Gore, the same day they hear the new goddamn Incantation album, and they're like, this shitty Possessed, this ain't death metal. And it's like, you heard it all in 2025 within an hour apart of each other. Like, it's just, I don't know, dude. It's just totally fucking different.
Connoisseurs.
Yeah, it's not.
They're not connoisseurs.
No.
Not connoisseurs, and they're not taking a lot of shit into just in consideration, like you're hearing stuff that came out decades apart. It's like you realize it started somewhere, right? And for the time, that was like when Venom first came out. You ask anybody that actually bought Welcome to Hell the year it came out, not when they were on the third or fourth album, because I've only met two people, and Will Romer's one of them. Every single one of them confers when that came out, that was like terrifying. Like, what the fuck is this?
It's crazy.
Now these kids hear it and they're like, this shit's fucking lame. This doesn't sound like whatever dumbass black metal band they like of today. This sucks. And it's like, dude, your parents weren't even fucking when that came out. What are you talking about?
They don't respect the evolution of it
Correct.
all.
Exactly. Correct. Yeah. Yeah. So, but I like to, some do. And when they do, and they Metal Archives Exploding Zombies, and they see, holy shit, these motherfuckers about their first demo came out 32 years ago. Fuck, that's kind of crazy. But
Yeah, it is. It
on
goes
that note,
quick.
what's that?
I said it goes quick.
Yeah, I know.
30
Dude. And you guys
So
are, dude, I know that's the thing is you guys are older than me, so you see it. And a lot of people that watch my channel, it's young kids. And when I say young, I'm 15, 16, and all the way up to, my age and older. But a lot of young kids, which is, it's obvious when they're commenting, some of them are young. And I sound like that old guy, like how you're saying it goes quick. Yeah. But it really does. Because, dude, like what you're just talking about, the Ohio Death Fest back in the day and shit. I'm not going to say that seems like yesterday, but to me, it does not seem like a long time ago. It feels like, I don't know, it feels like a couple years ago, but you look back, it's like those 25 fucking years ago.
Yeah, I even think about we played Milwaukee Metal Fest a couple years, and one of them we did the Grand Ballroom there, and that doesn't seem like it was as long ago as it was, and I think that was like '98 or something.
By 98, because that's about when I never been to Milwaukee until it's Reunite. Me and my brothers almost went in like 98 and shit, but our parents weren't having it because I'm the youngest out of the three of us that own Hell's Headbangers. So in 98 is when I first started going to shows. Death was my first show, but I was 13 years old. They were cool. So Chase would have been 15 and then Eric would have been 16. So 13, 15, 16-year-old kids driving 30 minutes to Cleveland. They were cool with the three of us doing that. But when we brought up the idea of 6 hours out of state, they're like, fuck you. There ain't no way you're doing that. You know what I mean? So we never got to go to Milwaukee in the 90s. But I didn't realize you guys played. I knew bands like Centurion, who I'm a huge fan of. They played the one year, the only time they ever played the States. What was your recollection of Milwaukee? Like, is it kind of like Milwaukee? And I don't like to say anything bad because, the guy that owns it, Jamie Josta, we're kind of like, I mean, we're not besties, but we're kind of friends, I guess. I think the whole idea of it's kind of cool. The only thing I don't like about it is it's a lot of bands that he gets, but a lot of them, they get like 15, 20-minute slots. I'm like, if it's like a band you're really excited to see, and then you go up there and they only get 15 minutes, I'm like, oh man, talk about killing your boner. Like, was that the way it was back then when you guys played?
It would have been 30-minute top sets, I think.
All the headliners got. I wasn't there with the band, but I was at Milwaukee in '97 and '98, probably '99, and it was like that. It was like, like Suffocation. It was their last show before they broke up for a little while, and same thing, half hour sets, and you just took what you could get, But
now,
it
back
was
then
such
for
a
yourself, you going as a kid. You going as a
Yeah.
kid and you're seeing Suffocation, maybe Broken Hope, and they're playing 20, 30-minute sets. Were you just raging and you didn't notice it, or you're like, or were you pissed, or like, what was your take back then as a kid?
Well, so you knew how long, like you got I don't know, a roster, whatever you call it, and it told you how long everybody's set was on it. So
Okay.
when you got like the first time I went to Milwaukee, it was like, oh fuck, the longest set anybody's getting is a half hour. But then once you're used to that, it was really cool too, because there's 300 bands or something. I'm a CD collector, so I'd come home with 100 CDs.
Yeah.
No,
So we did the same. Dude, me and my brothers did the same shit. Same shit.
dude. You ever check? There's a store out there called Nightfall Records. I don't think they're around anymore, but man, I mean, now you can find anything anywhere, but we walked in there and like the new Gore, like Gore Guts Obscura was out. It's like, holy fuck, dude, we didn't even know this thing existed because there was nothing, but it was just a cool whole community. You know, it's like a community. It's like just a bunch of fucking sickos just hanging out in a half dilapidated fucking ballroom for 3 days, you know, checking out new music. It was the best. It didn't bother me that the sets were that short. Once I was used to the idea, because it was like, that's what they're gonna give you. That's what they're gonna give you. At least you get to check out 300 bands too, you know.
Yeah. No, that was part of dude, that's part of how Hell's Headbangers started. Because like yourself, like actually Ohio Death Fest was a huge example. We would go on, well, me, each one of us, our brothers, keep on, we're kids, but I've had a job since I was 13 years old. I think that's what a grown ass fucking responsible person, even though I wasn't grown ass at the time, but a responsible mind does. So we always saved our money and shit. Every Ohio Death Fest, each one of us brought cash, $500 cash, just for shopping. We call it the fucking metal shopping spree. Like,
Yeah.
so we bought physical format, and all that's why Hell's Headbangers kind of started, because it was a physical format company. That's what we liked. That was our passion. So when I meet these kids today and all they do is like Spotify or YouTube, that's like so goddamn weird to me. It's insane. I'm like, so what do you spend your money on other than bills? I'm like, are you just blowing it on like alcohol and weed and dumb shit? I was like, I gotta know. I don't know. Maybe you're buying sneakers, that's really fucking lame if you buy that. Like, what? I don't know. Like, what do you spend your money on? Like, I don't get it. I'm confused. Like, I just gotta know.
Yeah, I hear you. That was the same. It was the same for us. We load up every day. You're buying 50 new CDs. I mean, I still buy CD. I'm still a CD collector, and I'm
Hey,
starting
yeah.
to vinyl because my wife wants to get into vinyl. But
Vinyl's
still
fun
a
as fuck,
nerd.
dude. It's fun as
Yeah,
fuck because like there's the different colors and they look cool, and sometimes it's a different layout, sometimes there's an extra track, and when it's a really, really cool cover, it's blown up and it's big. It's like almost like a mini poster. Like, dude, just think because you'll obviously when you get your guys' copies, think how killer that Exploding Zombies is gonna look. And I want to comment on that too before some fucking shit for brains who's new to the channel, which I know they're gonna fucking leave their dumbass useless comment. Look at this silly ass cover. I always looked at when I saw the Exploding Zombie Several Severed Heads cover, it is really cheesy and silly. But the way I looked at it, I was like, it reminded me, especially the logo and everything, it reminded me of Steve-O and Empatego, the whole thing. And none of these fucking asshats have anything to say about Empatego other than Empatego's great, which I agree, Empatego is great. But they don't call that out. But you get something similar, that similar feel. The logo, everything. It was a piece of art, the logo, and the cartoony artwork that Steve-O was doing. It had a very Empatego feeling. But I've noticed over the years, some people are like, oh man, what's this cover? What did a 12-year-old draw that? But meanwhile, at the same time, this dickless fucking goddamn Canoe is wearing a goddamn Empatego shirt. I'm like, are you just fucking dumb, dude? Like, are you a one-way street? Like, I don't get it. Like, how do you not put two and two together?
they just want to bitch.
Well, so what's your
Well,
guy? That was a question. What's your guys' take on the cover? Was that intentional, or were you guys just maybe you think I'm an idiot? Maybe you got that cover and Jeff and you guys are like, man, this cover sucks. What the fuck? Man, this guy gave us a turd. I don't know.
No, we used to have actually when early on the band, we used to have like a magazine. It was called Brain Sauce, and people would turn in cool ass art, and we just make it into this little book. And so we always kind of liked the cheesy a little bit, right? It wasn't always didn't have to be perfect or some AI drawn thing, you know. We liked the human in, you know. Um, yeah, we really didn't care. It was to us most of the time it was always about the music, you know. We're gonna slap a cover on it and get it out, you know.
But then
Many-
again, well, back then you couldn't really rely on graphic media the way you can now. So a lot of that stuff was hand drawn already,
Yeah.
just to even get it shared out. So a lot of people these days don't really take that into consideration either.
That album cover was drawn, I think, by Brian, our
Yeah.
old drummer. He came over to my apartment. I had 7 Prismacolor markers, and I colored it all in, and we just called it good. I mean,
Oh, so you did I didn't even know that. So you helped you helped do the art.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I always liked it. Don't get me wrong. I saw it and I thought it was cheesy, but it just because as a kid I was a big fan of comic books too. It just gave me that feel. I I remember I don't remember. I just remember people like, oh, this cover is fucking ridiculous. I was like, I like it. I was like, don't get me wrong, I'm not looking at like, fuck yeah, this is like I wasn't taking it serious, but I was like, I kind of dig it. I was like, it has like a comic book fun feel to it.
I had like I think 5 or 6 really nice Prismacolor markers, but I didn't have shit for colors, so we just kind of threw what we could at it, and I draw a little bit, so I just tried to do what I could to dress it up a bit, you know.
You know what's funny too is I know you guys remember, and I no longer have a copy of it. I wish I would have kept one because from back then, you know, I mean, I was a small kid, you know what I mean, like really naturally skinny kid, and all my shirts were size medium, right? So eventually, a lot of my shirts, a lot of times I'd give them away to a fan if someone really liked it. I'd say, yeah, I take it because now I wear a 2X. I was like, I have no use for it, but some I wish I kept for the art. And one of my favorite shirts ever, and I can never see one. And it's kind of what I wanted to do, but I don't think we had the original pieces, or maybe my vote just went to the trash can around here, like a lot of them do. Because you guys saw that we repressed the Exploding Zombies Several Severed Head shirt, but the back it just says Several Severed Heads on the website in case you happen to give a fuck. And I think it's cool, and I picked one up myself. But what I initially wanted to do, because one of my favorite shirts ever, which I no longer have, it was Emetic Records. Steve Rarick put out the long sleeve of the Several Severeds, and it was the front and back was full color. The front was the cover art, and the back had another piece, I forget, but it was full color piece front and back, and then had the zombies drawn on the sleeves. It was literally one of the coolest shirts I thought ever. I was like, you never see a full color front and back shirt ever. And then I think the sleeves, correct me if I'm wrong, if you guys remember, I think those might have been color pieces too. It was badass as fuck. I wanted to replicate that for Hells, but I don't think
I
any of
have
us even
that
had an
shirt.
original. What's that?
I have that shirt.
Yeah, dude, we gotta get scans of this.
Got the
Hell,
blue
even if
zombie.
if we just print one, I just want a double X for myself.
Yeah, we had was it like a zombie couple on the back, like half torso?
I think it's just
Something
a
like that.
zombie.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
dude. I
there
wore
was
that all the time. I wore that all the time in high school, and they didn't like it either because the fucking titties on there. But no, fuck them. I
Right.
still wore it.
Yeah, and I drew a little like scratching zombie guy on the sleeve. It had 7-color ink on the shirt. Like they weren't cheap to make at
Yeah,
all.
no, I know. And people don't understand. I think that's what Eric and Chase bitched about too, my brothers, is like, well, we don't have any of the art. None of us had that left. And like, and I think Eric's like, dude, that's gonna be like, we're gonna have to sell those for like $40. He's like, that's a lot of fucking money to print those. He's like, Exploding Zombies is like, it's an overlooked band nowadays. I was like, can we sell a $40 shirt? And I wasn't gonna argue. I was like, because at the end of the day, I was like, I just want one for myself. I was like, but as a business, you got to make sometimes you got to make those calls between what you want personally and business. You got to collaborate a little bit. But I always loved that long sleeve. But yeah, I bought it straight off Medic Records, Steve Rarick, which we had I don't know what happened to Steve, but we had a good business relationship back in the day. We started up a little bit after him, and we trade back and forth. But before with that, I was always buying from his distro bin.
Yeah, he would come to a lot of the shows with us with a couple cases of CDs, and he would just be working the whole time we're playing, you know.
Yeah, yeah. But so you guys, like you said, Jeff, you still have one of those originals?
Yeah, I still do. I
Do you
could
know how
probably
many of
bring
those?
it
Do you know how many of those he printed? Like 50 or 100, I'm assuming.
probably over 100.
Okay.
Probably
Did-
about probably 150, 200, I would think.
And see, it's shirts like that when I go to a show, if I see someone wearing it, I'm like, I'm impressed. Because, you know, you go to a show, you just see the same old shit, you know, like it was at the current tour. Because I can honestly say in 20 years, I've never seen someone wearing one of those, including myself, because my dumb ass doesn't have it no more. Wish I did.
I actually seen someone wearing one. We played this place, the Diesel in Detroit, and this kid, God, he couldn't have been 18, 19 years old. He had several severed head shirt on. I'm like, where did you get that? You know, because I had to ask. It's like,
What did he say?
He said my uncle gave it to me, and he was all happy with it. And I'm like,
I was just gonna say
know,
before you said that, I was like, it's probably was his dad's. Like close enough. Yeah. Yeah, because realistically, if you said he was 19, 20, even back when I was seeing you guys, which in the all in all, the start of the band, it was a little later, it was several years later. he wasn't even alive then when I was seeing you guys, that kid.
Right. Yeah, it was kind of shocking. It was cool because he's like, his uncle was asking, "Hey, make sure you tell me how the show is," and so he was still interested, which
Yeah.
I'm like, that's cool.
That's
Yeah.
totally cool, dude. Because I do that all the time, and I not now. My wife says that I'm obsessed with people's ages. I was like, I'm not obsessed. It's just that it's just weird to me because, again, like I said, I was going to shows started in '98, and I was the youngest person because I was 13. I was able to go so young because, like I said, my two brothers were a little older and they could drive. So I was always used to for years the youngest person going to metal shows. But now with the channel, every show I go to, people come up to me, want to talk, photo, whatever, and a lot of them are young, and they're like, "Yeah, bro, I'm 18," and you don't think anything of it. But I'm like, wait, hang on a second, you're 18. So you were born in fucking like 2007? They're like, yeah. I'm like, that's fucking weird. I was like, because I remember like I already of all the shows I've seen and all the stuff that was done, and we were already years into doing Hell's Headbangers. I was like, you were just born? I was like, wow. I was like, I guess we are all old guys now. Like it's kind of fucking weird because I was like I said, like you said, time flies. I was like, I was used to being the kid. Like, when the fuck did this happen?
Yeah, a lot of times I'll talk to people about death metal. You'll find some people, um, and they'll talk about how old they are, and I'm like, well, yeah, we opened for Cannibal Corpse, Cynic, and Sinister in '94, and they're like,
Mhm.
I wasn't even born yet,
Yeah. Yeah, I was born, but dude, like even like because again, like a lot of my followers, they're young. They were like freaking out. They're like, "You seen Death live?" I was like, "Yeah, '98 on the shittiest fucking record in existence." I was like, "If that counts as cool, I guess." But I thought was cool when I meet guys like I never seen Cannibal Corpse with Chris Barnes singing, and the guys I grew up with, they're like, "What do you mean you never seen Cannibal Chris Barnes? Like, who's never seen that?" I'm like, "It was before my time, dude. When I started going, you know what I mean?" And that to me is what's kind of cool. And that's what I try to tell these younger kids. I was like, dude, I'm a newbie. I'm late to the game. What do you mean? I never even seen Cannibal at Barnes. Fucking Jeff and Exploding Zombies, they fucking opened up for him. What are you talking about? Like, I'm a newbie.
or like even when did Fetus split up? Like the first time them guys left, we played a show with Dying Fetus, Skinless, and Exhumed,
Oh, that's a
and
killer fucking bill.
it was like a Tuesday in Detroit at the IROC. And I believe 6 months later, I think two of the guys left Fetus, the singer, and
Are you
I
talking
can't remember.
about like are you I won't get too much into that because John did an interview with me and he was super cool and I've busted his balls enough. But long story short is, are you talking about after Destroy the Opposition when Kevin Talley left, Sparky left,
Yeah,
and Jason left? Okay. Because long
their
story short,
tour.
I told it briefly on my channel. I won't get into it because I don't even know what's true. But on that tour, Kevin Talley, like it was like the second or third time I met him, just a fan. Like kid, I'm a kid. I'm 16 or some shit at this time. And he's literally pouring his guts out, like why they're all quitting, and it was all over John again, allegedly. I don't know. I know what he said, but I don't know what's true. I just only heard one side of the story, and like we all know, there's three sides to every story: his side, her side, and the truth, right? So, but he was technically, I know the reason what he said, why he was telling me all this. But me, I'm a diehard fan, and I'm like eating it up, like oh shit. And I don't think the band was splitting up by his words. He's like, we're all leaving, dude. We're done. He's getting new guys. I was like, fuck, that sucks because Destroy the Opposition is my favorite Fetus album. And I loved that lineup, especially Kevin on drums. Um, big fan, personally.
Yeah, they same thing happened to us, and that was the last show with them that we played. They said we're
Yeah,
done.
it's funny you say that because when I briefly told that story I just said in a little bit more detail on the channel in the past, there's a few people that commented, and you're saying the same thing. Like, yeah, Kevin told me that at its show, whatever, in Texas. It's not like he was just going around telling fucking everyone. Like he just couldn't keep his
Yeah,
mouth
because
shut.
it was weird because like 6 months later, we played with Fetus with the lineup they got now, I guess.
No. That was when the next lineup on the Stop at Nothing was Vinny singing. That guy looked a little limp biscuit to me, to say the least. But nonetheless, his vocals did sound pretty good, but I didn't think he, image-wise, I'm like, what's this Corn Limp Bizkit looking guy doing up the stairs? Whatever. None of my goddamn business, I guess. And then they had, I don't know if any of the guys are today, but it was definitely a different singer.
Like two.
Oh,
They
that
played,
line.
they played Metropolis, yeah, upstairs.
Yeah, yeah, we played that show with them in Flint, and the only thing I remember about that is one of our guys smoked the whole place out with a damn smoke machine. You know, but yeah, no, I
That's a
remember
lost
that
art.
show.
Is it just me too, or is that, or maybe I'm just not going to the right shows? Maybe the goth chicks or something. Maybe they're using it. That seems like a lost art too. I always like the smoke machines for ambience and atmosphere. I'm not saying no bands use it nowadays, but not like they used to back in the day, like I remember. Is that just me, or do you guys notice
No.
that too?
I feel the same way, but we try to use smoke machines, you know.
I like it, dude, because it feels like you're in a fucking graveyard looking through the. I dig it. I think if it's used properly, and honestly, my motto with the smoke machine: the smokier, the better. I like that graveyard fog, fucking mayhem, funeral fog. God damn it! Just you're looking through funeral fog and you're watching death metal, black metal, death and Satan. God damn it! Like I again on my channel, like it's all. I don't want to go to a death metal show and I feel like I'm watching a band who looks like they just got off the court shooting hoops with the brothers. I want to see fucking death metal. You know what I mean?
This show that he's talking about, basically our buddy was like the fog machine terrorist. So a bunch of people at the show, and you're on stage and you can only see the people like in the first 2 or 3 rows of heads. And
I
then
love it, dude.
you can't see the bar, you can't see nothing.
Yeah, I remember those. I think the maybe the first time I seen Borger in '99, or maybe it was Emperor in '98. Maybe both, or one of them. They similar. And I think some guys were complaining, like fans. I loved it though. I was like, it feels awesome. I always liked that. And plus, it has the smell. It feels like you're in a haunted house. I don't know. I always like that shit, man.
You know, the stage pictures that you see, you know, the stoppage of time, and pictures are better with.
The only thing me and my brothers didn't like about the fog machine back in the day was because when we were taking photos at all these, when it was really thick, some of your photos like fuck, like that would have been a good shot. Like it's like you can't see the guy because it's so fucking thick. So you had to kind of like wait for shots for the fog to thin out. So that was a downside. But other than that, for you know, a show to me is it's in the goddamn title. It's a show. It's again, like I said, that front guy, man. When I see him at Ohio Death Fest, he better fucking scare the fucking pants off me. I want him looking horrifying looking on stage. You know what I mean?
He's gonna watch it. He's watching probably as soon as this gets put
I hope
out
so,
there.
dude, because that's what I like to do. I want to see a show.
Tell him,
A lot of these bands, I go see some bands I even like, and I'm not saying every band has to dress up, but at least have. And I even tell my fans, I was like, dude, if you don't know what I'm talking about, just go on YouTube. It's before my time too. Go and watch live bands like Morbid Angel when David Vincent just joined, like in 1989, 1990. Go and watch very early videos of Cannibal, very early videos of Sinister. There is just this energy in the air with them playing that you can't even define. And I don't see that anymore. I just see a bunch of shitheads on stage just bobbing their heads a little bit, boring the fuck out of me. There's exceptions. Every now and again, when someone captures my attention, I'm like, fuck yeah, that was a show, motherfucker. Why am I buying a ticket of admission if you're just going to sit there and bore me? I can just watch it, sit at home in my goddamn underwear watching it on YouTube if that's the case. I was like, I want to see a show, goddammit. I want to feel that shit.
Sure.
I don't know. That's just me. That's me.
No, I hear that.
No, we've been throwing around some concepts, some gory concepts ever since we kind of heard about things. So we're trying to come up with something cool.
Well, I can tell you this without a shadow of a doubt. Ohio Death Fest and the Dead by Dog, there will be a very good crowd there, all from out of state mostly. There'll be 20 people there that you can count on one hand. Well, not one hand, two hands, I guess. There will be 20 people max that are from actual Cleveland, because all these people fucking suck. It'll be out-of-staters coming, so you'll be playing in front of an audience. So just keep that in mind. You're not going to be playing in front of 30 people. I can 100% promise you that.
Good. That's exciting. We don't do it for, we really don't care what the audience is sometimes, but it sure helps.
Oh yeah, especially if it's got energy, dude. It helps with me sometimes as a fan when there's a good audience and they're stage diving, they're moshing. And when I say moshing, I'm talking real moshing. I'm not talking those karate kicks and push-ups and rowboats in the pit and all this stupid shit they do nowadays. I'm talking real moshing. Fucking, you know what I'm talking about. I don't know. You guys are older than me. And yes, the stage diving, the headbanging. I gotta be. It makes the show more entertaining for me, even as a spectator, because there's an energy.
Yeah, you're watching to not get hit by somebody from the pit or somebody up above, so you're a little bit on edge, right?
Yeah. So I can only imagine as you guys playing, that has to be better than just standing there in front of an audience of 25 people with their arms folded. Granted, I'm an old guy now, so I got the arms folded too, but I expect the young bucks to fucking do their job. I did back in the day. I was in the pit. I was fucking stage diving back in the day. Don't anymore because, again, I'm old as fuck. And if I fall, I'm going to break a hip or something.
No, that energy definitely charges you too. You know,
Yeah.
when you're, there's a difference just playing a gig with 50 people versus 500 people. You know what I mean? It just changes you. You would get amped up even more. You can't fight it.
And seeing some crowd participation too kind of gives you a little bit of validation that people do still enjoy the music.
Yeah.
And you are doing something right with the new stuff we're writing. And that kind of touches base back on what we were talking about earlier with the potential songs that we've got to record that we're going to re-record. I hope, like, for your sake or anybody else's, that you enjoy the new music that we've got, that because we really don't even play that much of the old stuff anymore. But you know, hopefully you still enjoy the new stuff. And
Well, plus, like, you guys are the category. I will say this. A lot of stuff doesn't get much of a chance from me anymore because so much comes through and there's so much to check out. But you guys being a band that I've been a fan of for so long, when the new thing comes out, not only will I listen to it, I'll listen to it a few times because it's going to get a true, honest chance. It's like people might be like, well, "That's an unfair bias." Hey, call whatever the fuck you want, man. It's the shit I listen to. I don't know what to tell you. Basically, just kind of like with Cannibal Corpse, they do a new album. When I put it on, if I'm like, it was cool, I give it a few listens. It gets more than one shot because, you know, I'm a longtime fan. Unless, which I can't even think which band's done this. There's been bands that I've been a fan of where they put a new album out. You're like, the first listen, you're like, this don't need another listen. This is fucking terrible. Unless it's that, I'll give it a few listens always. What's the new Deicide, the new Cannibal, new Exploding Zombies? There's no doubt I'll listen to it a few times to make sure to digest it and give it an honest opinion. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you're comparing it against the whole legacy of what they've already done. And
1,000%.
So say you listen to like, you can't really remember the first time you heard Tomb and Mutilated. You just know that it blew you away.
1,000%.
You know what I mean? But the first time you heard it, it didn't blow you away as much as the third time you heard it. You know what I mean? Like, those kind of albums get better the more you listen to them. So you got to give a band who has that behind them, you got to give them that much of a go, because you have to, you forget that the first time you heard, you know, one of your favorite albums, it didn't hit you as hard as the third time it hit you, but
Yeah.
you didn't have that to compare it to that. You know what I
Correct.
mean? Like exactly like you said, the new Deicide comes out, you can't spin it once and be like, oh, it's not as good as the old Deicide. You don't even know if it's not as good yet because you didn't fucking listen to it yet. And they deserve a fair shake as far as, let's see what these fucking, you know, war horses can still do. You know what I mean? Is it still in there?
Dude, I'm so glad you said that. You said it perfectly. And using Deicide as an example, because all my fans know I'm a huge Deicide fan. I like every record by them. Don't get me wrong, there's some that are better than others, obviously, and they got a few. That one wasn't great, but me as a super fan, I still like them, right? But their last album with the AI cover, everybody loves to point out, like, I'm a huge fan of it. Like, I loved it. And people that all ripped on, I'm like, but let's say they like Once Upon the Cross and Up to the Surface of Light, but they're rip on the new album. I was like, dude, there's no way you even listened to it. Or like you said, if you did, once at best. I was like, there's no way you could be a fan of Once Upon the Cross and you listen to that 3 or 4 times, that new album, and be like, this sucks. Because there's literally parts that sound so reminiscent of Once Upon the Cross and I can pick out parts where I'm like, this is reminiscent to Confessional Rape. This is reminiscent to the song To Be Dead. Like, but not a ripoff, but like the same feel and vibes and energy, the vocal tones, some of Glenn's genius lyric rhymes. I'm like, You didn't listen to this. There's no way you did. You gave it a half-ass listen on YouTube, and now you're talking shit because it's the cool thing to do because they used a semi-AI cover. That's all they're doing. It's all these idiots that are just regurgitating what their buddy said or fucking somebody they're playing grab ass with on fucking social media.
Right.
But yeah, every band has an evolution, and we've gone through a lot of them in 30 years, you know. Just everything changes in life, and if you just keep going towards your goal and you love what you do, you just keep doing it. And it, for God's sake, it's got to get better, you know. If not, you might as well give it up.
Well, with that being said, because you guys are in a very different scenario than I would say 90% of bands. There's obviously some in similar company to where you're still active, but it's been 25 years since you've done anything new. That's very, very rare. Having said that, whatever your next thing is, whenever it is, are we looking at a 7-inch? Are we looking at a 5-song EP CD? Or are we looking at a full length? Like, what is the goal?
It'll be full length, and we've got
9
songs,
8 or 9. Yeah.
And do you have
Right
any
now.
labels? Do you have any labels in mind? Wink, 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 wink.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna talk to them about that
Okay.
because they got to listen to the product. And to me,
Yeah.
I mean, I almost have to say this: the way the band is in 2025 is more tight, more connected to what the goal is than it ever has been. So I feel good about it, right?
Okay. Yeah.
and that's kind of why we've got to re-record everything too, because everything that we've done in the past that's kind of led up to this kind of needs to be reworked with the member changes, and like Mark moving from vocals to drums, the drum lines have changed a little bit. So we kind of need to like update that on the recording also.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, since each one of you guys are here, with the exception of Singer, what's the way I could say this? Like, what do you think you each guys contributed to the album as far as keeping the band's charisma that it's known for, if you did at all? And what did you bring new, if anything at all? You're like, I just try to keep it as to the blueprint as possible. Like, what do you think? Each one of you, I kind of want to hear from you. Like, what was your take on doing your part with writing, or whatever contribution you're doing? Was it like, I want to do something totally new? I want to keep the charisma of the oldness, a combination? Like, where was each one of your mindsets? Because since you're all individuals, I'm sure you're all slightly have a little bit of different opinions that maybe you never even discussed with each other. It's just how it comes out on the recording.
I myself don't try to reminisce too much. All that old stuff I wrote half of it anyway or more. John does a lot of the writing, and these guys put their part in, but don't really think about any of that. We just play death metal, and it is how it is. You know, we don't try to say, hey, let's try to be like, you know, year 2003 or something. We just write our music and try to perfect it.
Okay.
Yeah, I can say for my part, so the condition when I joined as the vocalist was you got to write lyrics for 4 songs. So to me, it was just important to keep the idea of just brutality, you know, like the brutal nature of this music. I'm kind of a word nerd a little bit, so I took it as a real like as a serious endeavor to write brutal fucking lyrics that, you know, as much as you can do with death metal songs, you know, like plays on words, and you know, like kind of maybe not just plays on words, but more ways than one to look at the lyrics of a particular song. And then just from there it was, so there was a singer briefly between me and between Brent and me, and he was, you know, he had a good voice, but you know, I took it as a real responsibility to take these songs that he had words to, but they didn't totally go with the structure of the song, or it was like, I made it a real point to see like this is where the punches need to be, this is where the pauses need to be. So I mean, as far as it goes for me, I wanted to keep it guttural and brutal, but also have good lyrics that maybe didn't make you think, but just made you go, fuck, I didn't necessarily think about it that way. That's
Okay.
my
Yeah.
part. That's what I say.
I think like when Mark came in, my style of writing lyrics and his style are completely different. Like I was telling him, mine's kind of more like
Broad strokes.
yeah, like horror poetry, where his was almost like scientific brutality. Like there was like 3 or 4 words in there. I was like, I've never heard this fucking word in my life.
Right. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
No, and as far as continuing with the question here, I'm kind of like Jeff. I'm not trying to remake anything from the past. Like when I joined the band, they're like, hey, you know, come to the Spider Trap and check us out and let us know what you think. And I was just blown away when I saw them. And then you play years, like me and Jeff, we both play. If I'm playing a guitar, hand him the same guitar, it's totally different. We have different hands, we sound totally different, but we have enough in common where I'll go home and write something, he'll go home and write something, and they'll, if we want them to, they'll mesh together great. And it's all about just the ebb and flow and viciousness of what we're trying to make.
Well, was it you or Jeff that came up, since you're the guys, the guitar players? It had to been. I always loved it. The you guys, the guitar theme doing for the Halloween, including that in the album, like that was, I thought that was brilliant, and it just sounds spooky as fuck, but good, but not ripping off and like, oh, that's cheesy. Like I thought it was awesome. And when you guys would open up the shows, I think most of them you opened up with that. You definitely included it, and I thought it was great. And who came up with that? It had to been one of you two.
That was me. Really dumb idea to start with that at a show when your hands are cold. Especially
Why
like
is
playing hard.
why is it hard to do? Is it? I don't know.
Yeah, it's just high, and you got to be perfect, you know. And it's just one of those. It's not hard to do. It's just not being warmed. It's a bitch to do, and
but I think it
you have
captures.
fighting
I think, for example, like Ohio Death Fest, I think you guys should open up with that. I really do, because there's gonna be a lot of people that never heard you before, new fans, and I could say it's going to capture, because everyone's going to recognize that. And let's say they never heard you, they're like, oh shit, that's kind of cool. Like it's almost like grabbing their attention, like get your head out of your ass, buddy. Like almost that type of syndrome. Like that's what I recommend. But yeah, do what you want. I'm just a spectator.
Yeah, I mean, that song that follows that, We're Always Connected, that is the only song we still do.
Oh, dude, you guys don't do Vomiting Blood. I love that
We
song.
don't do Vomiting Blood, we do Blasting Circle, and then we do all our stuff.
Oh,
and then
dude, I mean, I think because Vomiting Blood's probably my favorite. And that's probably why I put it on the channel. Like it's got blast beats, but mid pace, and it's got everything, dude. It's just the way right after the intro how it kicks in with that aggression, but it's not blasting speed. It's just got so much memorability and catchiness to it.
Maybe that'll have to be a birthday present for him. We'll have to relearn that, play it.
Yeah, damn straight.
We've
Yeah,
been talking about a few tunes.
Yeah, we've been talking about bringing a couple back.
It's just most live shows we don't get a chance to play even all of our newer stuff, and we're more about that, you know. But yeah, we'll see what we can do.
I know we can't come down there and then we're done, and you're like, they never fucking played Vomiting.
I'll be bummed. I'll be like, that's like going to see Cannibal and they do Hammer Smash Face. What kind of shit is this?
Yeah, like typically, if we only get like a 30-minute set and we got like minutes of songs, obviously we can't play them all.
Yeah, of course.
Those are all the new ones that we've written. Well, most of them were already written before I even joined. So there's really only 2 that I've collaborated on since I joined. But
you said you've been in how long now?
I joined like 2018, 2019, somewhere
Oh,
around
so
there.
It's been so a while. So, damn, they were written even before that. Shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
The thing too is like, so coming into how do you say it? Going into the band and having like all these songs that you know, I mean, all these songs, there's not that many of them. But having like all the new songs that were, so we started
recording.
right. So the one that we started recording, and then we, got rid of the old drummer. So we needed to basically start the recording process over again. And we were coupling that with having shows coming up at the same time. So basically we were concentrating on the material that we have to record because we want to get that recording out. Now that all those songs are nailed down, we can sit down and play them all. We're going to look at, bringing some of the older ones back just because that's the only shit anybody knows, like you said. So there's kind of part of the reason that we weren't going back to the old stuff was because I needed to learn that. I mean, I knew the songs as a vocalist, but I really wanted to serve these songs as like every song doesn't have to just be a crazy blast beat all the way through. You play to what the song is asking for. So there was a little bit of reworking some of the songs, just learning them as a drummer, and also knowing that I had to be able to play them for these shows we had coming up. That's a big part of the reason,
Yeah.
why we've been concentrated on the newer stuff,
Relearning the current set before bringing back the older sets.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So we're hoping to, now that everything's settled back up and we've got this new lineup, all of our current songs we get tightened up, and we've talked about possibly bringing back a couple of older songs and rotating those in and out. So at least like the longtime fans can at least recognize some of the older stuff and bring back some of that nostalgia with it, and hopefully get to check out and enjoy the new stuff also.
How many sets have you guys done so far then with the new singer? Like, how many times have you guys played live with them? Do you like just twice?
Just twice, yeah.
Okay, shit.
Yeah, playing this year, so he's pretty fresh still.
How many shows do you have an average? Like, if you do a show like once a month, once every 3 months, or like what are you guys kind of like averaging out at, or there's not one? Two a year?
Over the years, it's been usually like once a month that we would plan something, or once every 2 months. It depends.
It's kind of dropped over the last year or so, just because of the local scene up here isn't what it used to be. So shows aren't as frequent, and it's hard to get people to come out and everything else. So it's kind of slowed down, maybe like once a quarter or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll get asked to play the Sanctuary in Detroit or something else, and we always have a good time going there. So, but it's not like it was definitely in the olden days.
Pre-COVID, it was a lot different. It was slowing down a little bit toward the end of COVID, but 10, 15 years ago, it was completely different when you could just go to you could line up a show every weekend if you wanted.
Pretty much, yeah. It was the same here. There was times where almost every weekend there was a show.
Yeah, even if it was like 2 hours away or something, it wasn't a big deal to drive out there. But
yeah. And you guys aren't far, but even like, hell, I'm surprised you haven't done like a Cleveland show here and there, like jumping on board even over the past years, because Detroit to Cleveland, it's like a 2.5 hour drive. It's not bad at all.
It's not bad. It's not bad at all.
Yeah,
I was just up in Detroit for that. Shout out to Fernando from Perversion. You put on Evil War Fest just last year. That's where I did on my channel. I interviewed Attila from Tormentor Mayhem, Sadistic Intent, Repulsion. So there's interviews. That's where I was at. But that was last year, I think. Yeah, last summer, I think.
Yeah, me and him were there.
Yeah.
We both went there. I
Jamie,
talked to Scott from Repulsion for a long time. He was outside.
Yeah, did you see Jamie? You see the interview I did with them on the channel?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, the rest of you guys, nothing, huh? Crickets.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Yeah, but no, yeah, I was there, and then that was the last time I was in Detroit. And what that I was, because it was been quite a while since I've been in Detroit, like probably early 2000s for shows. I remember it being a not a bad drive, but this last time I was like, oh, that's even easier than I remember. I was like, that was like really easy.
Yeah, I remember trying to get Scott to throw. Can we play with Repulsion at the machine shop? It's been a long time now. But I was trying to say, hey man, if you're coming home, let's do another show. And I was trying to push that.
Does Scott know who like legitimately know, like, and probably like has heard the band Exploding Zombies, to your knowledge?
Yeah, we played with him.
So, but I mean, he wasn't sitting, but well, there's a lot of people that say, I played with King Diamond too. I was like, well, yeah, you did, but he was out on his bus. Like, you think, so he's actually legitimately heard the band. If I asked if you guys weren't in the room, I'd be like, hey, Scott, you know who Exploding Zombies is? Would he be like, fuck yeah, I've heard Exploding Zombies? Would that be like his answer?
I can't really tell you the answer for sure. His old guitarist is definitely a fan.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Aaron.
Aaron.
Yeah.
Aaron, he every time we used to play shows, Aaron would show up.
Oh, sweet. Okay, so he probably has that then, because Aaron's probably said something
Yeah.
to Scott or something. Yeah,
I don't know if Aaron and Scott are, tight like they were anymore.
yeah,
But we're both flip bands,
yeah, yep, yeah. It's actually there's a fun fact for all you guys that are just hearing of Exploding Zombies, or maybe this is your first time. They're from the same area as Repulsion, and if you don't listen to Repulsion, then you already know what my opinion is about you if you watch the channel. Because I think Repulsion Horrified is like one of my top 6 favorite records ever recorded.
Yeah. Yeah.
For a while, I
So-
thought if you just named your band after the name of one of their songs on that album, that you'd get somewhere. You know?
Yeah,
And actually, Repulsion was the only cover through all these years that we did. We did Helga for a while. And then
you never recorded that though, did you?
we just dropped it,
Yeah, because Impaled covered that. The Impaled Hemorrhage Split album that came out in the early 2000s. Impaled cover Helga Lost Her Head.
Yeah, we did it probably, I don't know, probably like 98, 97, 98 is when we were doing it. Just for live shows, just for fun,
How did people react when you played that? Did they like it?
Well, they loved it. Yeah, they did good.
Yeah. I'll make this the last question for you guys because shit, we've been on almost 2 hours. So it was a longie, but I don't know how much you want to say or not say because I don't know if it's a touchy subject or not. But I didn't realize Brent passed away until literally I think we got in a contact, like setting up the release, talking about it, and it was on Metal Archives. Were you guys doing the band together at that time? Was he still doing it? And like how did he pass away? How'd that go? Like, were you in contact? Like, what all that? Because again, he's the singer that I always knew. He's the only singer I've seen with the band live.
Yeah, so we were all playing together, and Brent was going through a lot of shit, kind of self-inflicted shit. He was drinking way too much. So he would be like this, we'd go to a show and he'd always have a fifth of something. And we had to literally say, hey man, just take a couple sips. And I don't even know if I should be telling the world this or not either, but
yeah, whatever you can. I don't know anything. So if there's shit you can't say, I totally understand. Because I didn't know if he just dropped dead of a heart attack. I literally don't know anything. So that's why if you can't say something, I totally understand. I just figure I'd ask because I was curious for myself as being a fan, and I didn't know if it was public info, and I'm just out of the loop. Because I literally know nothing.
well, it basically went down like this. It was like, hey man, you gotta get your shit together, or there's problems. Everybody's pissed at you. And it went from that to letting him go to me, like kind of basically being like his counselor over the phone. Like, dude, he bleed his heart out to me on the phone over and over. And I'm like, dude, you got to get it together, man. And then he just never did. Kind of ended up passing away to drinking.
Yeah.
And
He ended up passing away like almost a year after I joined the band.
yeah.
Directly.
Okay.
He died on my fucking birthday.
Really?
Yeah, I think he died the day after we played Soulfly with Soulfly.
You guys play with Soulfly?
Yeah.
How the fuck was that reaction? Because that's like a total.
Is that Flint Buick City venue?
Yep.
There would have been a shitload of people there for Soulfly.
It was the middle of a blizzard.
Okay.
No, there was like
whiteout.
30 people maybe.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay. I just
So we
figured.
got-
The venue wasn't very popular and it was new, so it was kind of odd that they were bringing a band in like that.
Yeah.
So a huge turnout, not with really what we were expecting, but the venue didn't last very long either, so it
Yeah.
kind of gets forgotten sometimes.
Now, so then when he passed away, then what was your guys' initial thoughts? Like, were you like, fuck, like the band's done, or did you just instantly knew like, well, we'll get someone else, or like, was it on hold for a little bit? Like, where did you guys go from there when you got the news?
Because we're diehards and we're not ever going to stop this until we drop. was basically he was gone from the band for probably a good year
Yeah.
before all that happened.
Okay.
So we were already moved on at that
Okay.
point.
Okay. Yeah. Now, was he pissed that you like, or did he see it coming? Like the year that he was gone and you guys were carrying on without him, was he like bitter about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
He
would
was
think
pissed.
so.
Okay.
How long before you got shanked?
Oh, geez. I don't know. 6 months or something like that.
5 or 6 months after
Yeah.
he was gone, we got Shane.
And then we've got a song, one of the newer songs is called Fallen. It's about him. So when I was doing vocals, we just started a thing where we dedicate that song to him every time we play it.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense.
This was
That's,
for,
that,
you know.
yeah.
He played bass with a pick, and he wasn't really very knowledgeable of like, music theory and all that shit, but his pick hand was brutal. He could just grind so fast with that fucking pick hand. So
Mhm.
the whole intro to this new song is just modeled after his playing. So I just
Okay.
tried to figure out,
Yeah. Now, to the very last show you guys did with him, was he always dressing up on stage, or did he eventually stop doing that?
No, he dressed up all the way to the end.
Yep, every time.
Did he ever do a show like where it's like, fuck, I don't have my shit, and he just got on stage normal? Did he do any shows like that? Just normal him?
Yeah, farther back, like the Devour the Village era, he did. He didn't wear a mask.
So
He wore
when he first introduced that, then were you guys kind of like, what the hell? Like, were you kind of like, that's cheesy, or because since he wasn't doing it initially, and then it's like one thing on day one if he was doing it, but if you guys are already doing shows, and then he just starts doing it, were you kind of like, whatever, bro? Or did you guys think anything?
No, I don't think so. I think it was just you be you, man. Do what you
Okay.
want. This this is just as much of your band as anybody else. It's do what you think you need to do.
He was a big fucking imposing figure. He was a
Yeah, he
big
was.
dude.
He 100%. Yeah, he's a big. For people that don't know, because like we have photos. Yeah, he was a big ass dude on stage.
Yeah, I used to call him Solomon Grundy all the time, man, because that's what he fucking reminded me of.
Dude, he just reminded me of fucking Leatherface. Because with the mask and the blood and the apron, and he was a big dude, like just throwing that girl over his shoulder, putting him on a meat hook. I was like, it looks like Leatherface on stage playing fucking bass and singing. I was like, I thought it was awesome.
It almost kind of reminds me of what he was going for, because now that you say that, it was like spinning image of that. I could see that.
Yeah, that's what popped in my mind as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's basically like son of Leatherface,
Yeah. Yeah.
We'd play shows and we'd have bar owners coming up to him. Hey, can you go have your bass player and tell him just to be a little nicer in the pit? Because he would just get hammered and go in the pit, just destroy everyone. The
During the other bands? During the other bands,
Yeah.
you do that?
Yeah.
Shit. I wonder if because I don't remember. I wonder if he did that at Ohio Death Fest then when you guys played.
Oh, I'm sure he did it during the other bands, almost guaranteed.
That's what I mean. Yeah. When the other, yeah.
Brooke would come to the shows, and he would my brother weighed like 140 pounds, 5'8", 140 pounds.
Yeah.
And he would literally slingshot my brother Tom into the pit and just fucking destroy people, man.
Yeah, no, for people I don't know, yeah, he's just like this. Because I remember meeting him, and I was like I said, I was a small kid, really thin, and even less than 140 pounds. He just looked like this big linebacker guy.
You nailed it, because he's probably about 6'3" and 270.
Yeah.
He'd put you on his barbecue, man.
Exactly. Like, yeah. Throw you over the shoulder of the body for real. Yeah, just throw you on the barbecue. Well, guys, is there anything I forgot or you want to mention, shout out, or say? I mean, because I don't want to hold you up all damn day, but I think this came out pretty damn good. I mean, is there anything I forgot to bring up that I should bring up on the band? Or again, maybe you guys want to advertise, maybe you're in other bands, anything? Now's the time because people.
Well, if you're interested, we still keep a up-to-date Facebook. You'll see our shows we're doing.
Do this. Send me the
link.
links. Send me if you
Yeah.
have a Bandcamp link, Facebook link. Send me all the links, and I'll put them in the description box of this video.
Okay. Yeah, we got it. We don't care. We just played a show. We posted almost all the songs. You can stay up with us, and see what we're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that's the way. That's why the people follow stuff nowadays. Most of them, especially the younger generation, like we talked about, they follow Facebook. I don't even know all the outlets. All I have is a YouTube, but that's what they do. So it's like, that's the way you got to market your shit. So absolutely, man. Send. I'm sure people that are going to watch this, absolutely, they'll check it out. You know, that's the way of the times.
Social media sharing is about all it is anymore.
Correct. You're 100% correct.
Hey, thanks for doing this, man.
Yeah,
I
thank you.
appreciate
Appreciate
it.
it.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Of
much.
course. Well, if nothing else, guys, I mean, yeah, you'll get your records and CDs in soon, the pressing, and let me know how you like those. And then, yeah, if nothing else fails, I mean, I'll be seeing you guys all in person at Ohio Death Fest. If you get here early enough, hell, dude, come down to the Hell's Headbangers warehouse, because from the club where you guys are playing, our warehouse, which is where I'm at right now, I'm just in my office. It's about 30 to 35-minute drive. It's not far at all. And we'll start the open warehouse about either 11 o'clock or noon, and then it'll go to whatever, whenever people leave, 4 or 5, they just hang out. And if you guys do decide to come, like I did my previous one, I'll announce on my channel, I'm like, yeah, Exploding Zombies will be here hanging out. You can just hang out, ask them questions, talk. Like, I let the fans know, like, way in advance. I'll say it on multiple videos and let them know if that's something that you guys are interested in. Definitely come, dude. Like, there's no charge, there's no nothing. It's free to everybody. Just come in, check out the shop, hang out with fans, drink beer, bring your own beer, bring your barbecue, whatever the fuck you want.
Nice.
Kick ass, man.
It does. Sounds good, man.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, check out these guys at the show if you're coming, if they're playing there, and then yeah, watch out for the lease, and then follow them on social media, guys.
Thank you, man.
Peace out, man.
Later. Good talking to you guys.
You too.
Talk to you.
Later.
Later.